Is exercise all or nothing for you? So you're either full on or you're doing nothing at all. Perhaps you always plan to start next week, but when next week comes, there's something else that gets in the way. If this is you, stick with me for the next 10 minutes and I'll explain why you struggle and what you can do about it. I'm Dr. Paula Watson. I'm an exercise psychologist and I provide therapy for people struggling with weight, exercise or food. On my channel, I share psychological tips to help you stay healthy and feel good about you. Before we get into my top 5 reasons why people struggle with exercise consistency, let's start by talking about consistency. What consistency looks like will depend on your goals. If you're into a 6-week get fit quick program and want to see ambitious results, you'll need to stick pretty rigidly to your plan to achieve your fitness goals. So let's call this short-term consistency. This is different, however, from the consistency I work on with my clients, whose goals are often about long-term weight management, lifestyle change, and positive well-being. So when I talk about consistency in this sense, I mean being able to stick with something, not for 1 week, not for 6 weeks, but forever. Naturally, such long-term consistency has to look differently from the consistency required for a 6-week Get Fit Quick program, since this type of consistency isn't achievable permanently for any human being. Long-term consistency, it isn't about doing everything perfectly. It isn't about rigidly sticking 100% to your plan. Long-term consistency is about establishing a routine that's enjoyable, that's varied and works for you. It's maybe sticking to 70 or 80% of your plan, but sticking to it forever. This requires flexibility, balance, and an ability to bounce back from things that will inevitably get in the way. Think of someone you know who's consistent in this way, and I'll bet they're happy, they're fit, they're healthy, and their weight's also been consistent for many years. Don't worry if this feels like blue sky thinking right now. If you've struggled with consistency for decades, you'll naturally be filled with doubt. This is okay and it's understandable, but it is possible to change. I see it day in, day out with clients who, after being all or nothing for years, managed to establish enjoyable, healthy, and importantly, sustainable lifestyles. If this fits with your goals, please hit the like button and keep watching for my top 5 reasons why people struggle with long-term exercise consistency. Hey, and if you're not familiar with how YouTube works, you just need to be signed into your Google account to like a video. This really helps others benefit from my videos, as more likes mean YouTube shows it to more people. Thank you. The first reason is perhaps exercise isn't high enough on your priority list. This isn't to say you don't want to do it. We just only have so many hours in a day. And when we have an in-the-moment decision to make about what to do, we choose the most important thing at that time. Imagine you're settled on the couch after work. Yes, you'd intended to go for a walk, but the benefits you expect to get from that walk don't feel important enough for you to leave the comfort of the couch and go through the effort of getting changed, finding your walking shoes, and facing the rain and wind outside. It's understandable. Imagine the same scenario where you've got a back problem that responds really well to a daily walk. So it's become one of your non-negotiable activities in life. Even though you're comfortable on the couch, the knowledge of how much it's going to benefit you to go for the walk far outweighs any effort required to get out the door. This is you. Start by writing yourself a why list about exercise. Write down how it benefits you mentally, socially, and physically, and why it's important for you to exercise consistently in your life. Secondly, perhaps you're not enjoying the exercise you're doing. Okay, this sounds obvious, but unfortunately, the fitness community has led us to believe that exercise should be punishment and requires discipline and sacrifice to succeed. So we keep persevering even though we hate it. And eventually, because we're human, we give up. It's not in our nature to keep going with something purely because we feel we should or because someone else is making us do it. Check out my blog on exercise motivation if you want to learn more about this. If this is you, think about what it is you're not enjoying. Is it the particular type of exercise you're doing? Is it the people you're doing it with? Or is it because it's too difficult for you? Perhaps you're bored and you'd like more variety in your routine. Then write down one small step you could take that would make your exercise more enjoyable. And if you want any ideas with this, check out my video on how to get fit if you hate exercise, which provides more tips on making movement work for you. Thirdly, Perhaps you're not planning it in. You likely have good intentions, but how often do these turn to behaviour? This one's particularly relevant for activities that are important to us, but perhaps are never going to be our favourite thing to do. The gym's like that for me. So whilst I'll happily get out of the house and run or do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for fun, my motivation for going to the gym is a bit different. My main reasons for going to the gym aren't enjoyment, but to stay healthy and to build the strength I need in order to do the other activities that I love. What this does mean though, if I don't plan it in advance, the gym's quick to go out the window. And by planning, I mean specifically what day, what time, how I'll get there and so on. Research shows that setting these very specific action plans is one of the most effective ways of turning intentions to behaviour. So if this is you, for the week coming up, write in your calendar specifically what exercise you're going to do and when. It can help to get into a routine where you stick to the same times and days each week, and then once it becomes a habit, you won't have to think about it so much. But in these early weeks, you'll need some extra support to build that habit. So plan it in, write it in your calendar, and do something to hold you accountable, like booking into an exercise class, arranging to meet a friend and go together, because often we find it so much harder to let someone else down than ourselves. Fourthly, perhaps you're skipping the preparation. You've probably heard the saying, fail to prepare and prepare to fail. Unfortunately, planned exercise takes some effort. So if you want to stick to a consistent exercise routine, you'll need to do some preparation. Take my gym example again. I know I've got the best chance of going if I go first thing in the morning, and I like to cycle there as a warm-up. That means though I have to have my bike tyres pumped up and ready to go. I need to pack my waterproofs, take my bike lock, and at the moment in the UK it's dark when I set off, so I need to make sure my bike lights are charged. If I left all that to the last minute, it'd be like gym out the window for that day. So if this is you, if you have an exercise session planned for the week, think about what you can do to prepare the day before to make it easier for you. Can you put your kit and your shoes out? If you need to take a bag, can you pack this in advance? Do you know where your water bottle is, your membership cards, or any keys you need? And the fifth reason, perhaps you're setting yourself unrealistic expectations. This is perhaps the most common reason I see people fall out of an exercise routine. They're confusing short-term consistency with what's required to keep exercise up in the long term. Essentially, they're expecting themselves to be perfect and stick to the plan 100%. When they then inevitably fail to stick to this, they beat themselves up and either give up or keep pushing under a cloud of pressure and mistaken belief that they're failing, where actually they're being pretty consistent. So for long-term health, it's far better to go for a run twice a week forever than it is to run every day for 6 weeks then give up. Yet we continue to expect ourselves to be superhuman and feel we're only worthy if we're managing to do everything to its max. I know I'm guilty of setting myself expectations too high. Each week I aspire to do an ambitious program of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 2 to 3 times, gym or circuit training a couple of times and running 3 times. Do I ever actually do everything I've intended in 1 week? Very rarely. And I'm not sure I've ever done it 2 weeks in a row. So in fact, the people at my circuit training class will tell you they're more likely to see me once every 3 months than once a week. But what I am consistent with is regularly doing all these activities, and I've been doing that for years. I also know if I take time off for illness, injury, or to go on a holiday, I'll easily slip back into my routine. So flexibility and sometimes inconsistency are actually normal when your focus is on sticking with exercise in the long term. If this is you, look at the exercise plan you're trying to follow and ask yourself, how often do I actually manage to put this into action? Is it realistic for me to keep up? If not, what's the least amount I'd be happy with in a week? So if you intend to go swimming 3 times a week, say, but find you only ever manage once or twice, perhaps you might change your goal to 1 to 2 times a week. That way, you feel a sense of satisfaction even when you swim once, and you're less likely to beat yourself up or give up because you're not doing things perfectly. I hope from this video you've been able to identify the main reasons you've been struggling to exercise consistently and have some steps to take away. Or perhaps the main thing you've learned is that actually you are being consistent already. Just consistency over the long term looks very different from the harsh expectations we put on ourselves in the short term. So let me know in the comments what you've learned and any further questions you've got. And either way, kudos to you for acknowledging your struggles and taking steps to improve things. And if you're struggling to do this alone, that's okay. It's really challenging to establish consistent, enjoyable exercise routines. So if you'd like to work one-to-one with me, check out my website and get in touch. And subscribing to my channel is free, so please subscribe for more videos related to exercise motivation, body image, and weight management.